In a world that is filled with filters and masks, we want to give you an unfiltered experience. Welcome to Soté.
Yes, Salt of the Earth podcast, a Christian podcast where we teach you how to apply the Word of God with wisdom into your everyday lives. If you're ready to take off the filters and learn how to be the salt of the earth, stay tuned to Soté.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Soté podcast. This is episode 4?
Yes, 4.
Yes, episode 4. We're always glad to be here in the studio. But before we go on, I just want to talk about how hungry
Subscribe.
I am. I'm hungry before. Like,
you don't even care about the podcast. You're just like,
no. I mean, I'm messing around.
But if you could eat, what you want to eat? What you want to eat?
I don't know. That's the thing. I feel like eating so many things right now. Do you always have that feeling like when you're hungry, it's like you just want to eat so many things? Yeah. That's how I feel. But before I cut you off, you were about to say something. You were about to say the most important thing for our audience, which is subscribe.
Yes, please. subscribe at Soté Podcast TKP. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I haven't really started on TikTok yet, but you can find us on also on what is it? What's the rest? Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Google, whatever, all the podcast platforms.
Email us.
Our email also.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes, please subscribe
and follow us on Instagram.
Yes, all of that. Just you don't have to beg. They have no choice.
They have no choice.
Okay, I'm kidding, but
that's the hunger talking. Yeah.
Just help us, guys. Subscribe, share. Like, comment, whatever it is.
Yeah, we really want to hear from you. Mostly, comment. Let us know what you think and everything. But Temi, the question of the day is: would you rather?
Go ahead.
Why are you laughing?
Go ahead.
Don't act like you didn't know what the question was.
I honestly don't. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong question, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Here we go. Okay, would you rather have money or love?
I saw that comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a trick question. I mean, maybe it is, but
at this point,
this point in life,
money is essential.
Wow. Okay.
Love is good, but love is sweeter when there's money.
Wow. Okay.
It's a tough one because honestly, I want both, but if I were just to choose
if you can only choose one, that's the question.
I feel like I'll choose love because there's so many ways you can make money, and so you can always get money. So is it that if I choose love, I'm never gonna get money?
Let's say like you have more of love.
Oh, than money. Okay, yeah, of course. I thought it was if I choose love.
Which one do you want more?
Oh, love. Oh, okay. I thought it was either. It's either
that's
of
not realistic.
Is money. But
you can't live without either. But which one would you want more?
Okay, I want love more.
Love more?
Yeah,
okay.
Love more. What about you? I feel like it's
why.
Love.
My question now is why. Before I even go into mine.
Because love is the greatest. What's that quote? It's like the greatest ethic. I think it's greatest ethic or something. Like love is what drives almost everything. Oh, and so after,
some people could argue that's money as well.
No, I mean, well, the reason money drives it is because you love money. You see what I did there? So you see, without
the root of all evil, though.
Yeah, without the love of whatever it is, you like money, whatever cars. But love, love.
Okay,
it's the greatest force.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so for me, it's definitely love as well. But my answer is because God is love.
Oh.
I said it was an extra question, but you answered the right. You answered right.
Okay. All right. No problem.
You can't live without God. So how can I not choose God? So.
That's a solid answer.
Yeah. But anyways, the reason why we're talking about that is because we're talking about the beauty and singleness. And so we left our audience on a cliffhanger last week. Do you want to tell me what that question was?
What was the question? Can I be whole by myself, or do I need others? Or do I need a significant other to be whole? That's the question. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think?
What do I think?
You asked the question.
Honestly, I think yes. I don't just only think yes, you can be whole. I think that yes, you should be whole, right? By yourself. And you shouldn't really, need any other person, to be whole. And I think, a lot of people, okay, don't let me use a lot of people, but sometimes in life, or some people, always want to, I don't want to use the word seek validation, but they require other people to be their full selves. And like, going back to the whole identity that we spoke about, in the last episode, it's because they don't really know who they are. They haven't really figured out everything about themselves. I mean, not that you're going to ever figure out everything about yourself, but like, they don't have a rooted identity. And so it's like they're trying to find their identity in someone else. And so, not only can you be whole, but you should aspire and strive to be whole as a person before even getting into a relationship. And I feel like that's the problem with, the world today, kind of like relationship wise, is that people, you have like two not whole people or two half people, coming together, to start a relationship, and then that just usually ends up in chaos and so many terrible things.
Yeah,
that's why you have all those problems. I was about to say that's why you have baby daddy issues, but hey, I'm just
not
just
coming
kidding.
For anybody specifically.
I'm just kidding.
But I would say, like, see, I forgot what I was gonna say. You just dropped that bomb.
My bad.
Yeah, like a lot of people, like you said, like, is two halves trying to come to make a whole.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like, they have that, or society really in general kind of like promotes that whole, like, my other half. I'm looking for my other half. And it's like, aren't you a whole person on your own? Like, you're not half of a person. Nobody sliced you in half. And so go find your other piece. You should be completely who you are and who God has made you to be on this earth before you're like searching for somebody else to complete you. Because if God doesn't complete you, then that's where you need to start. Not really trying to find somebody else, because somebody else is also looking to God to complete them. So if you're looking to somebody else to complete you, you're really looking in the wrong place, because they themselves is not a whole person without God. And so if you don't have God to complete you, then who are you really? You're nothing at the end of it. So.
Okay, so the moral of the story is, before going into any, and I feel like it doesn't just have to be a relationship with the opposite sex. It's like any relationship. Well. It's like, I think for it to be a healthy relationship, you have to have two whole people.
Yeah,
like 200% people who could pour into another person's cup, whenever one person is weak or whenever one person is down. Yeah, that's like that should be the basis for any healthy relationship.
Yeah. Just because it says the two become one doesn't mean there are two halves that became one. It's two ones that became one.
So one
it's
plus,
like a 1 times
so 1 plus 1.
It's a 1 times 1.
I was gonna get you. So it's not a 1 plus 1.
I know my math.
It's a 1 times 1.
It's a 1 times 1.
All right.
Okay. So it's a 1 times 1 times 1.
Okay.
Right. That was 3. I don't know.
Who's the third one?
It's God.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 times 1 times 1.
Yeah.
That's 1.
How you forget about God? Okay.
I didn't forget about God, because He's already inside of me. And so He's a part of me. Right, and so everything I do.
So He's not separate, right?
Yeah. So like everything I do, just stems
from. He's already in your heart. That's fair. That's
fair. I got you.
That's fair.
But yeah.
So now, since we understand that, like, okay, I need to be whole before I can be in a relationship. But what about those people who then jump into a relationship when they're half, or when they're not completely ready? Like, what are some consequences that can really come from that?
First thing I'll say is run away. I'm just kidding.
Just break up with them now.
No. Don't do that. I mean, if you feel like you need to, just break it off. If you feel like it doesn't,
it's necessary.
Add any value to your life. And once again, it's not just relationship with the opposite sex. It could be, a friend, like a girlfriend or a boyfriend, as a guy or as a girl. But Yeah. What was the question again? What about people who just want to be in a relationship?
Well, I said, what if somebody's already a half, or they feel like they're looking for their other half, and they've already been in that relationship? And they're like, yeah, this person's completing me. Like, what are the consequences of going into a relationship with that mindset?
I really don't think it's going to turn out right because, like I said, once again, I think I heard a quote, was it yesterday or so? It talked about how people feel like as though a relationship is like therapy for them, right? And so you have so many people going into a relationship with so many baggages that they haven't sorted out, right? You know that you shouldn't, you know that you have this like things in your life that you need to work on as an individual, but then because you don't want to work on those things, you kind of distract yourself by going into certain relationships. And I think you see that a lot in these days. It's like people just want to distract themselves from not having to focus on themselves. And so it's so easy to just, have this kind of, or make this kind of happiness bubble for yourself, right? And say, oh yeah, I'm just going to go into a relationship and I know it's toxic, I know this isn't helping me grow or anything, but I just want to have that feeling of happiness. But at the end of the day, it really isn't happiness because you still need to work on all of those things in your life. And so I mean, the thing is, in life, like when you evolve and when you grow, there's going to be a time where you have to cut off certain people in your life, right? And that's just normal. And those people are going to be like, oh, you cut me off, bet I'm gonna show you. But you're just going to have to cut off certain people in your life because you just need to grow and you need to evolve. And those people might still be at a lower level.
In your life, huh?
Just cut them out. Cut them out. But so I don't think you should have the mindset of wanting. So I don't. Okay, being in a relationship or desiring to be in a relationship, like, and I'm speaking like in regards to the opposite sex now. Like, it's a good thing, but it is not a necessity, right? I don't think it's bad to desire to be in a relationship. I just think it's bad when you're desperate to be in a relationship, right? Because at the end of the day, for being honest, like, everybody wants, to have that significant other, that they share things
your
with.
Other whole.
Your other whole, not your other half. Everybody wants to have that person that they share things with, or they live with, or they do life with. And to be honest, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful feeling. But I feel like it shouldn't be so desperate to the point where it's like, oh, if I don't get in a relationship, I'm not die, but like
that's pretty dramatic.
I'm not going to be me, or I'm not going to be whole or anything, because you are.
Who am I if I don't have somebody?
Exactly. Because I feel like as God has made us enough for ourselves as individuals, and I think because society has tried to condition us to feel like as though, like, there's this thing about marriage and how, I don't want to say Canada has been idolized as this great thing. It's like, if you're not married, or if you're not in a relationship or married, like, it's like you're missing out on life. And I don't think that's the case. I don't feel like everyone is called to be married. I mean, but that's kind of like a deeper conversation. But so before going into a relationship, just make sure that you've worked on yourself. Not just for yourself, but also for the other person, because you might be hurting the other person just because you haven't like really worked on yourself. And so just be a whole.
Go to therapy on your own. Don't use your significant other as your therapist.
Exactly.
And just as a clarification, we're talking about relationships. We're always talking about the opposite sex, especially when it's like about like romantic relationships, because as Christians, that's what we believe in, between a man and a woman. But when we talk about relationship between a girl and a girl, it's more about like a friendship type thing, and a guy and a guy, more like a friendship type.
I mean,
thing. We gotta make those clarifications.
You have to make those clarifications,
because the world we live in.
I know. But thank you.
It's all over the place. But how would you respond to somebody who's like, okay, I get it, I'm supposed to look for my other hole, I'm supposed to wait, be patient, but what if I never find them? What if I'm just gonna be alone? Is that the end of me? Like, how can I be okay with that?
That question should be directed to God. Because I mean, it's a tough question. Like I said, like I don't think it's bad to desire a relationship. I just think you shouldn't be so like anything you want to enjoy with someone else. I feel like you should already be able to enjoy that with yourself.
Like take yourself out on a date.
Yeah, like some people are so fixated on going out with other people, like going out on dates, going to the zoo. Like, if you want to go to the zoo, just buy a ticket.
I gotta be with somebody before I can go to the zoo.
And just go to the zoo or go to wherever it is you like. Enjoy life in your single phase. Like people don't always understand that being single is a blessing.
It really is. Like as single people, we totally understand that.
It honestly is a major blessing. Those people that are married, I feel bad.
I know you're loving your life, but I know you miss it too.
Yeah, you miss it. Exactly. Because then you just have. I mean, if you're called to be married, you just have a certain time to be single. Because then after that, once you're married, it's like you have to start worrying about other things, right? Not just yourself,
right?
And so I guess back to the question of what was it again? Those people who say,
basically we were just talking about how like when somebody's like, oh, what if I never find my other half, like or my other whole or whatever they want to call it, is it okay, like am I gonna be okay, because some people I've even heard of like, okay, if God were to come today and I'm not married, like I don't want him to come, like God go back up to heaven and wait until I'm married. I'm like, take me, I'm cool being single and going up to heaven. Like I don't need another person to feel like, oh, my life is complete, and things like that. So
I mean, okay, I might not answer that question directly because I really don't have an answer, but I think a counter question is, why is it that we feel that we need someone else to be complete? Like I mean, I do understand. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I mean having a significant other isn't a good thing, or being married isn't a good thing,
right.
I want to be married too. I also want to be married, but sometimes I just think, I'm like, why is there like a need, or why is there like a feeling like most people just are so desperate to have someone? Like why? Like I don't know. I mean, you might not have an answer, but it's just something I thought about.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, maybe it's because people just don't understand how God can make them whole. And so they're constantly looking for that missing piece when the missing piece is always right there beside you. And I feel like some people might not even use other people or that desire to be in a relationship as what they're like striving to complete them or fill in that hole. Some people it's money, like we talked about earlier. Like some people are like, I don't need love, I need all the money in the world. And it's just like people are constantly looking for something to fill in that space. And it's like, until you fill it up with God, until you fully like surrender your life to him and completely allow him to take over, you're gonna constantly feel like something's missing. Even when you find that love of your life, you're still gonna feel like something's missing if you didn't find God first, know. And so like that's why I feel like some people are just like, they constantly want to be in a relationship where they're looking for that person. And then when you do that, you end up getting so desperate that you'll take anything. And when God has already told you, like, hey, be patient, because that's what's going to help you learn how to not be desperate. Because when we're rushing into things, we take anything that comes our way. And God's like, I have the best for you. But sometimes the best takes time, because I need to make sure that this person's also taking their time to be built up and grow and be where they need to be. Or if I don't have anybody for you, I'm building you up on your own to be where I want you to be. And that should be enough. But some people, it's like, nah, like, I need that person. Like, give me to me now, And as humans, we don't, like, understand that God completely understands what we need. Some people have gotten into a relationship with God where they're like, whatever you want, God, that's what I want. But some people are still struggling with that, and they're battling within their minds. And it says in Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Like, if you really trust God and allow him to guide you in life, he's not going to lead you astray. He's not going to lead you to the wrong relationship. He's not going to lead you to the wrong crowd or the wrong places. But a lot of people are like, God, I don't like your timing. I don't like your pace. So I'm going to start doing it on my own. And when you do it based on your own understanding, you kind of lose pace of where God really wants you to be. I think you got to start all over again when you could have been in a completely different place in life if you just followed God's path. But yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
I
give you a whole sermon. I'm sorry.
I mean, one thing I like was you said being able to understand that God is enough for you, like regardless if you're a man or a man or a woman.
Yeah.
Like just understanding that God is enough for you and you really don't need anyone else to complete you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good if you have someone there to share, life with.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, like understanding that God completes you is very key. That's deep.
Yeah. I'm so sorry to interrupt you again, but like to say something else is like, just because we say like, okay, it's good enough for you to be alone does not mean become a loner and be a hermit and just stay in your little corner. Like, still explore a community, like get Christian friends, get people around. Even that time of being single, don't just isolate yourself saying like, okay, I'm trying to be whole all by myself and I don't want to have a significant other, so I'm not gonna hang out with people, I'm not gonna have conversations with people or build friendships with others. Like, still learn how to like have relationships with other people and build friendships and know how to do that in a healthy way, so that when you end up in a relationship, you're not awkward and not know how to talk to people or communicate your feelings and everything. So
okay, so you said something interesting, right? About people who feel as though they need another person to complete them. And I really don't have an answer to that. But I guess my question is, like, why do we feel that we need someone else to complete us? Like,
okay,
like why I think it's because like people just don't understand that God completes you, period. They're just like, no, like there has to be something else. Like it has to be either money or love or friends or my parent. Like just God, like that's not enough. I can't see him, I can't feel him. Like there gotta be something else that completes me. But until they put that puzzle together and figure out that it truly is only God that can complete you, they're going to continuously look for something to complete them, whether it's love or it's money or whatever it may be. So it's until you fully understand that, oh, it's really just God that can complete me. Like God can completely satisfy whatever is in my heart, whatever the desires in my heart are that are according to his will, of course. He's the one that can provide that. It's not anybody else. It's not anything else. Because even if you find yourself in a relationship, it's still what God told them to do, or it's still what God has given them the ability to do that they do for you. So it's still God working through them to satisfy whatever you want. And so at the end of the day, it's still God at the beginning and the end of it all. So just trust him and allow him to complete you and not look for another person to complete you. So that's deep. Yeah. So
that's my answer.
The moral of the story is understanding that God completes you, like in every aspect of your life. Yeah,
and also to stop searching for that person and allow God to bring that person to you. Because a lot of people are looking in all the wrong places for the person when, if you look at Adam, God placed him where he needed to be, and then he presented him with Eve. And he's like, this is the bone of my bone, the flesh of my flesh. What else do I need? But somebody was like, I think that's the bone of my bone. That's the flesh of my flesh. Like, am I the rib? And you're the other part? Like, and God's like, hey, can you just let me do it? Like, I know who the person is. Stop trying to look for them.
That point you just made gave me an idea for our hot topic question. For our hot topic question.
Great segue. Good
segue. So quick segue into our hot topic question.
Yes. Tell them what the hot topic is.
Oh, the hot topic question for you new viewers and subscribers. Yes, subscribe. But yeah, the hot topic is just a minute or two, well, more than a minute, maybe like 3-4 minutes of us just talking about something random or something controversial or something hard. Whatever question it is, you guys could also give us suggestions about the hot topic question. But
what's
an idea I have. You said something about God placing Adam in the garden, and he was the one who brought Eve to Adam. So I'm speaking for my sisters now.
All right.
I'm speaking for my sisters.
All right.
Is it? Do you think it's wrong?
Hopefully I can do them justice here.
Do you think a lady can shoot her shot? Okay, slide in the DMs. What do you think? Or do you think that's the job of the man?
Completely.
Because God, like you said.
Not you quoting me.
God put Adam in the garden, and he brought Eve to her. So do you think the man should be the one, reaching out
every time? Okay. That's a good question. First of all, I would say, like, is God leading that man to make any moves? If he's not, the guy should sit down. Just calm down. You're okay. And then for the ladies, I would say handle it with grace, handle it with wisdom.
Yeah.
Don't be out here being desperate and just jumping at everybody. You'll be like, hey, I like you, be with me. And it's just like, it's cringy and it's awkward. I would not restrict women to be like, oh, you can't shoot your shot, or you can't, be friendly to guys, or, show that you're interested. But I think that's where it should stop. Okay. I don't think you should be out here being like, hey, let's go on a date, let's do this, let's do that, constantly texting them and doing the most. Because I feel like a man is meant to be a leader. As if you don't give him the time and the space to lead, and you're constantly being like, hey, let's hang out, hey, talk to me, hey, and he's like, oh, I can't even get a word in. Like, I can't even process, am I interested in you? What do I like about you? Because all you're doing is telling me what you like about me. All you're doing is talking about yourself. All you're doing is just making all the moves and everything, and I don't even have a chance to do what I was called to do as a husband, as a future husband, in any way, shape, or form. Is like to lead, to be that helper. And so for me, I would say, like, even if I had to respond this for myself, I would be like, yeah, I can be interested in someone, but I wouldn't do the most when I'm trying to show interest. Like, I'll be sly with it, and if you can't pick up the hint, then maybe you're not the one. Maybe you're not the one.
Okay, maybe, just maybe.
But what about you? What do you think?
Honestly, I don't
speak for the lady. Just what you would prefer.
For me, what I would prefer. Honestly, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't mind. I mean, I don't, obviously, like, you have to show that you have interest, right?
Right.
Because some people, like, some ladies are they do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And, like, they expect you to be
like, I winked at him.
Yeah, it's like,
I glanced
at him.
We connected eyes.
And I'm like, how do you expect me to know?
Yeah.
Like, give me something to work with.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, for me, speaking for myself, I feel like just giving me something to work with, that's where it stops for me. And then I kind of know what to do, from there.
Right.
But,
yeah, like, it's all about, like, starting those conversations, being like, hey, what's up? Like, the person should at least know who you are. Yeah. I think that's where we should start. Because some ladies are like, yeah, I see him from afar. I don't even know if he knows my name. I'm like, let's start with, let him know your name, and please let him know you exist. Yeah. But past that, like, don't be too much with it. Like,
okay.
Okay. That's just my opinion.
I see. I see. We could take one more hot topic, I think.
What do you want to do?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Up to me? Okay. I guess since we're talking about, like, attraction and interest.
Yeah.
If we're all made in God's image, why or should physical attraction matter when you're looking for someone, or you're interested in someone?
Do you want me to answer from my flesh or from my spirit? Or from my spirit? Because
let's hear both sides, because some people may be dealing with either side. So
actually, if I'm being honest, regardless of what side it is, I feel like, for me, I just feel like you should be attracted to the person. Like they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
All right. You could be beautiful or handsome to someone, and then to another person, it's like you're not beautiful. But at least, at the bare minimum, be attracted to the person you want to be with. I just feel like it's interesting. Because, I mean, Adam, when he saw Eve,
like, physical attraction.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about personality.
So when you mean physical attraction, like,
you just find them attractive?
You just find them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
interesting.
You shouldn't. Okay. Like, you shouldn't be with someone if you don't. I don't think. So you
don't think, like, love can make the heart grow fonder? Like, time with the person can build that attraction? Like, you just gotta be right on the spot.
Well, okay. Well, that's different then.
Okay.
I do agree with you, but I'm just saying, like, on the physical, like, the base physical aspect, like, you should really be, like, it's just like you being with someone and then someone is like saying, oh, is that your lady or is that your man? And they're like, yeah, I'm not even really attracted. to that person.
You wouldn't say that out loud.
So that's why I feel like you should be attracted to that person.
Okay.
Like, I mean, Adam looked at Eve and he was like, "Whew, this is the bone of my bone." I mean, there's a reason he said
there was nobody else, but okay. There was nobody else. Like, is it the lion he would have compared
I feel like
to?
there was a reason he said that, because he was attracted to her. I mean,
interesting.
I don't know. That's just me.
Because they didn't even know they were naked, so... Do you really think it was an attraction thing?
I don't know. I just feel like, even as a Christian, right, that at least the least thing is you should be attracted to the person that you're with, right? I don't know. That's a very interesting perspective. What do you think?
I feel like, let me give you the scripture. Because when it says in like Proverbs 3 verses 5 through 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding." What I understand by that is that I can't just base it off of my own understanding of like, oh yeah, this is what I'm usually attracted to or what I'm not usually attracted to. And so then maybe I let go of an opportunity to get to know somebody or to go on a date with somebody or to see where that could go because I'm like, oh, I'm not attracted to them, so I'm just.
I think I get where you're coming from now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know. I don't think it should be. Yes, you should be attracted to them, and I feel like if it's truly who God wants you to be with time, that attraction will grow. Okay. Regardless of if it was initially or after. Like I feel like with everything in life, when it comes to God, like sometimes we don't fully agree with it at the moment. We're like, God, I don't really understand why you want me to do this. But with time, you're like, wow, now I really love like where I am in life or things like that. So.
Okay, I think to correct myself, I'm not saying physical attraction should be the defining factor.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it should be the defining factor. Right. If, like for some ladies now, they're like, oh, I want a tall man. They're like 6'3", 6'5".
Exactly.
And stuff. And so anyone below 6'5" is like, they're
not husband material.
So yeah, I'm not saying that those physical features should be the defining factor. But I'm just saying I would feel like I don't feel like God would just I don't want to say that. I feel like God would give you, obviously God gives you the best. And sometimes, some people might be like, oh God, like I want a tall man, I want a whatever man, and whatever it is they want, whatever physical feature they think that they want, and God is like giving them the opposite of that thing. But I still feel, and this is where the attraction comes into play, because you said something about love making the heart fonder or something. I still feel like at the end of the day, once you break past that barrier you've put in your mind and you start to see things from God's side, like you will still end up being attracted to that person for who they are, like their whole physical feature. And that's what I mean by the attraction when I was talking about you should be attracted to the person you are with. That doesn't mean that the person you're going to be with is going to be the finest woman or the most handsome guy in the world. You're always not going to like something about them. Yeah, exactly. So
we agreed finally. We came to a conclusion.
Compromise.
But let's get back into it. Let's get back to like why you should still want to be single. Single. So what are some benefits of being single? I'll start with like, it's really just the best time to get to know God. And really, like, we were talking about, God completes you, but a lot of people don't even know who God is to understand how he can complete them. And so, we were talking about earlier, Paul said in 1 Corinthians 7:32 that it's better to be single because the single person is concerned about pleasing God. And so when you get married and when you have kids and all that, your focus kind of changes a bit. It's not fully focused on your family and everything, but to some extent, you're like, I want to make my family happy. I want to make my husband happy. I want to make my wife happy, and so with that comes a split of like your focus. But when you're single, it's like it's completely on God. It's like, God, I want you to guide me. I want you to lead me. I want to make you happy fully because I don't have a lot of distractions right now. But when you start getting married and all those things, that's when those distractions come in. So when you're single, try to avoid as much as possible all those distractions. Like, don't just go on mindless dates or flirt with people mindlessly or do all these things to feel validation and all that kind of stuff, because really God is keeping you in this season of singleness not as a placeholder but as a time to really grow and build and be who you can be in a marriage or as a single person.
I think to add to that is like even in your single phase, because as Christians, right, living as a single person is different from how the world lives or how the world live live as single people, right? So as a Christian, there comes the issue of, okay, if I'm single, like the world, like being single, like even if they are not with someone, like married with someone, the world would encourage you to maybe, have sex, all of those kind of things. But as a Christian, I guess that's where it's not just about being single. It's not just about being alone, right? Yeah. It's also about your heart. Like you can't be saying, "Oh yeah, I'm single," but then I'm having all of this lustful thoughts, this lustful desires, and things like that. And so God wants you to be complete, like spirit, soul, and body. Not just that. Oh, I'm just single. I'm single because, I don't want to be in a relationship yet, but I'll still have sex, or I'll still watch porn, or I'll still,
it's like, this is not working.
So God, and that is just so deep, because that's just like how God has an agenda for us. The devil also has an agenda, and like so many things come from sexual immorality outside of marriage. You have sometimes broken homes and all those kind of things, and so those are part of the devil's agenda. And so see your single phase as something that I guess prepares you for being married. And that is if you are called to be married.
And even if you're not married, those are still great qualities to have as a person. For sure.
Definitely. I guess also another good benefit is, this is the one I love the most. This is the one I love the most. It's the fact that...
Are you practicing it, though?
I am, though.
Okay.
It's the fact that you can do whatever it is you want to do.
Oh, that one. Okay.
without having to think of anyone. Like...
Not in a selfish way, I would hope.
Well, I mean, even in a like, before you're married, right? You could decide to just leave your house and go have brunch by yourself. Or nobody puts like a curfew on you, and stuff like that. But once you're married, first off, you have to be responsible for your partner, not just yourself. And so you just can't leave the house and without your partner knowing where you are. And then it gets complicated when you have children. Those little but when you have children, then it gets worse, because now your whole life is dedicated to ensuring that they're safe, they're fed, and they're brought up well. And so it just goes downhill from marriage. It just goes downhill.
Okay, we're not saying marriage is completely
I'm just messing.
I get what you mean by, like, you have that freedom to do what you want. And it's also like a great time, like on the more selfless side, it's like you have more time to help others. You have more time to serve in your church and do a lot of things. If you want to go on a mission trip, nobody's stopping you from doing that. But when you're married, you got to think about, I'm like, can I just leave my husband behind like that? Or can I just leave my kids behind like that? There's a lot that you have to start considering. But when you're single, it's like, okay, it's just me, myself, and I. Let's go. Me, you, and God. Me and God together doing things and going places and really just utilizing that time for the Lord. So it kind of goes both ways, It's a great time for you to learn who you are and yourself. But it's also a great time for you to serve others as well. So and also another thing is the benefit of being single is that those are like the most defining time of your life, right? That's where I think sometimes, like sometimes the problem that people have, like at their old age, is because of the choices they made when they were younger, and so like really this is the time for you to be successful in your career, to be successful in whatever it is God has called you to be. And so like I feel like focusing all of your energy like into that, like becoming your best self, like is going to help you and set you up properly for the future, right? Like in your finance, in your social life, and everything. Because sometimes people just want to get married, but they act like as if you don't need money to get married. Like even though money is the number one cause of divorce, right? And so that's like the best time to set yourself yourself up like for your best life. Right. Learn how to be financially stable. Like that's so important. Like though, especially women, do not expect your husband to just pay for everything your whole life. You're like, he's gonna take care of me. No, like learn how to have your own stuff and be, independent as well, so that you can contribute to the family. Like there's nothing wrong being a stay-at-home mom and all those things. But when you're single, what stay-at-home mom are you doing? Like go out and work hard and everything so that you can help out this man that's working so hard to help you as well. It's a teamwork.
Yeah,
it's not teamwork. Just, you know.
Exactly.
60-40.
Thank you. It's not just 60-40. Thank you for saying that too. You were shaking the table when you said that, but I mean, it's the truth. And which goes back to you being whole before you even get married and being independent. Yeah. You know, finding or identifying your true self before, coming together with someone else.
Yeah, because learning how to save and all that kind of stuff.
Because then it just makes life easier for both of you. Right. Because teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly.
Like they say. Exactly. And so for all of my single folks out there, don't be so hesitant or don't be in a rush to go into a relationship when you know you haven't discovered yourself, and when you aren't in the right place, to be in a relationship.
Yeah, right? Like Temi and I are great examples of enjoying our single lives. We are not in any rush
I take
to enter a relationship, and trust me, relationships are work. Okay, it's not just a vacation. So if you're not ready for that work and commitment, don't jump into it. Because you don't want to jump right out of it, and be consistent.
Don't jump into it because you don't want to jump right out of it.
Right.
All right. Anyways, I think we've hit our 30-minute mark.
Yes.
And so, guys, just send in your questions. Let us know what you guys think. If you're single, if you're married, we know that our audience might be, approaching their early 30s, and 30s and whatever. Just let us know, guys. If you're married, if you have any comments, if you have any advice. Exactly. Yes, and also, if you're married and you're listening to this, if you have any advice for us single folks, just let us know. Let us know.
What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
What can we prevent? Yep. Things like that.
If you guys also have questions, just send them in. You can send them in or to our email at sotepodcasttkp@gmail.com. You can also reach us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Soté Podcast TKP.
Yeah.
And also just leave your comments, leave questions in the comment section on YouTube.
And all that kind of
stuff. Lastly, subscribe.
Subscribe, hit the bell.
Yeah.
Icon.
And let us know if you guys want us to talk about anything.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it's a wrap for today.
It's a wrap. And so, speaking of wraps, I know you're ready to go eat a wrap.
Yes. Maybe. I don't know what I would eat. But yeah.
So stay tuned to Soté.
In a world that is filled with filters and masks, we want to give you an unfiltered experience. Welcome to Soté.
Yes, Salt of the Earth podcast, a Christian podcast where we teach you how to apply the Word of God with wisdom into your everyday lives. If you're ready to take off the filters and learn how to be the salt of the earth, stay tuned to Soté.